Hey everybody, welcome to DDTS episode 565, back with another video for y'all today. Video, podcast, or whatever you want to call it, I am back. Thank y'all for joining me. Today is July the 30th, the last day in July. And tomorrow will be a new day of August the 1st, 2025. Before I get into this video, I just want to elaborate on a couple of things. The first thing that I want to elaborate on is August the 1st will forever be one of the most saddest, most heartbreaking days for me. The reason I say that August the 1st will be a day that I will never forget and that I will never understand to this very day. But you know what? It is said, and I was always taught to not question God, to not question the good Lord, or this and that and the third. I mean by that is that 26 or 27 years tomorrow, August the 1st, 1999, was the day that my lovely mama transitioned from this earth of passing away in her sleep at the age of 25. She had asthma all her life, and ever since she was a kid, and she truly went through a great ordeal of that situation, and that, it's very heartbreaking. That's a day that I will never forget. I still get asked, how do you still remember of the passing of your mama? How do you still remember the events? You were so young. That's true. I was young, but I was 4 years old. I remember those things, and that's something I will never forget. Honestly, that's why I elaborate more on my mama than I do my father. I elaborate more on my mama than I do my daddy. For that exact reason, I elaborate on my mama more, and I talk about my mama a lot more than my daddy's because, hold on y'all. I'm back, y'all. Like what I was saying, I elaborate more on my mama, and I talk about my mama with style and grace and keep her memory alive. It's because, she was there for me those 4 years that we had together. She carried me in her womb for 7 to 8 months. I was born premature, and that is something that I will never forget. And I love the connection that me and my mama we had. Even though I was young when she passed away, I still remember all the wonderful memories and things that we did together. So if I talk about my mama more than my daddy, it's because of a reason. I did not have the father and son relationship with my father like how most people's had. Now, I know it's a lot of people that's like me that hasn't had their fathers in their lives. Hell, it's many people that haven't had both parents in their lives. So I understand that. But August the 1st will be a day that I will never forget because of the passing and the transition of my mama. But I really want to thank each and every one of you for coming in today and listening/watching this episode of DDTS, episode 565. If you are new here and if you haven't yet, like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and please share with your friends. Also, you guys, be sure to follow one of my best friends and a new content creator and YouTuber, the Outcasted Player. please subscribe to his channel. He's looking for new subscribers, and he's still trying to learn how to navigate on the YouTube train. He usually be on TikTok a lot, but he loves TikTok and he wants to figure out how does YouTube work, even though YouTube and TikTok is totally different. I told him that I would be happy to help him and guide him through what YouTube is like, how to work YouTube, what he can talk about, what he can post, and this and then the third. I intend on giving people's great advice on how to do their platform or how they want to do it. But when you do a video, make sure you put everything that goes along with it, hashtags and all that, so people can get a better feel, so people can find your videos and what is trending. So please, if you haven't, please follow my friend and new content creator, YouTuber, the outcasted player, Jose Vasquez. So now we're finna go ahead and get into this video, get into this podcast, or whichever you want to call it. That's totally fine. But we finna go ahead and get into this. Today, I'm going to be talking about two topics. The first topic that I'm going to be talking about today is Brooke Hogan. Brooke Hogan, on why she removed herself from any access to her father's will. And those of you that don't know, that should know, Brooke Hogan's father and daddy was Hulk Hogan. And it's a lot that I want to elaborate on that topic, in which I really am. So if you're not ready, and if you are very sensitive to this topic that I'm going to talk about, then you can go ahead and exit the video now. But if you like this type of content, this is the place for you. We're going to talk about this content. We're going to talk about this topic. And then the next topic that we're going to talk about that has been trending, Shannon Sharpe has been fired from ESPN. And we definitely going to touch up on that. Those are the two topics that we're going to talk about today. But the first topic that we're going to talk about, that we're going to discuss, is going to be about Hulk Hogan and Brooke Hogan. Why she removed herself, why she requested to be removed from her father's will and everything. And also, she also has stated that peoples need to get off her back, need to get off her case of why she wasn't at her daddy's 10-bell tribute on WWE Friday Night SmackDown. I forgot to put this in my video regarding the SmackDown tribute to Hulk Hogan. As you can see pictured, a lot of the superstars that was there was not out there for the tribute. Just like on Monday Night Raw, it was some peoples that was on the Raw brand that was in the back that was not there. So basically, they should tell you, they probably can tell you how much of a person that of Hulk Hogan that he meant to peoples, you know. And as you can see, it's probably a bunch of peoples that was not feeling well, that was not feeling comfortable being out there. Quite frankly, if I was a superstar in the company, I wouldn't have went out there not because of basically what he had going on, but because of the energy that he carried. And it was not anything good. But Brooke Hogan, his daughter, said the main reason that she was not there was because WWE did not invite her, didn't even send her an invitation because of it. Whether, I don't know what's the situation behind it, but it is said, you know, and I read that she didn't receive an invitation from WWE, which I don't understand, which she probably did not want to be there anyway. But I will say this, You can tell a lot of superstars did not want to be around for that 10 Bell tribute. Like, to me, it was a lot missing. A lot of people was very sad when Bray Wyatt tribute happened. So that's what I wanted to put in my video, y'all, and I hope y'all enjoy this video. Thank y'all. Hello everyone, I'm back. I'm just adding some more to my video. As you can see right here, he was 71 years old when he passed away. He passed away from a heart attack, but I wanted to add some in. I got some facts wrong, and that was this. Apparently the rant that he made 10 years ago, back in July of 2015, he basically died 10 years apart, a month and 10 years apart that this rant happened. But honestly, I had it wrong. He died of a heart attack at the age of 71. Because it was said a great amount of time that he was going through health issues. And I'm going to say this. I think Jimmy Hart was by his side. I think Jimmy Hart was his manager, or whatever you want to call it. Great friend, this and that and the third. Because he was basically making comments and giving updates on Hulk Hogan. But I will say this, although I am not a fan and I wasn't a fan, I will say this. I know it's a lot of peoples out there, which I'm gonna say forward on in this video. I know it was a lot of peoples that was a great fan of Hulk Hogan. But I will say this. I will also add that, Hulk Hogan was part of one of the greatest stables, in my opinion, that I thought was great. And that was the NWO, consisted of Kevin Nash, consistent of Scott Hall, Razor Ramon, and consistent of X-Pac. So whether people's loved or hated Hulk Hogan, he brought so much into his character of being a Hulk Hogan. Now, I know it's a lot of peoples, including myself, that wasn't his cup of tea. But me going on social media, seeing other people saying that, about how they lost their childhood hero, which is understandable. And as you go along in this video, I will say this, that it was two types of peoples. It was Hulk Hogan and it was Terry Bowler, which is Hulk Hogan's real name, Terry Bowler. There was Hulk Hogan and there was Terry. Hulk Hogan, from my understanding, he was this wrestling hero who a lot of people's looked up to, pretty much, who they loved watching. And he was known for ripping his shirt. He was known for being in very iconic matches, such as him versus The Undertaker in the casket match, him versus Yokozuna, him versus The Ultimate Warrior, him body slamming Andre the Giant. I mean, it was so many. I know a lot of you probably saying, how you know these matches? Listen, I watch a lot of wrestling. I peeked at it. Just because I peeked at it does not mean I watched it. But, I peeked at it. And I tried watching his matches, but it just was not a no. Like the single leg drop was just, it didn't do it for me. And he held the title for like 1,000 and something days, I believe, back in 1993. But he was part of some of the most uh, memorable matches and storylines and events. Just like when he went one-on-one with The Rock, when NWO came back to WWE back in 2002. So again, there was Hulk Hogan. Now we're finna get into Terry. Terry Bolo, which was Hulk Hogan's real name. He was basically I'm gonna say this. Yes, he was a human being, but I'm not gonna say he was a nice human being. He was basically a person that did too much like everybody. I don't know what will make him, what will possess him to make those remarks that he made of black peoples, and Brooke Hogan, his daughter, dating a black man, calling him the hard ER. And like what I said forward on in my video, which you're about to finish completing and watching, which I hope you all enjoy and like, comment. Like what I said in my video, he was not sorry because of the remarks that he made, the racist remarks that he made. He was sorry that he got caught. He's sorry that he's guilty of what he's saying. And I'm not excusing none of that. And I'm not going to defend it. But what I will say is, you should watch how you say things, and you should watch how you tweet people's. Watch how you treat people's, because you treat people's a different type of way. All of that would basically come back on you. It's called karma. Now, me on the other hand, I didn't badmouth not one time of Hulk Hogan, but what I will say, he was not my fan. I was not a fan of his. He was not my cup of tea, coffee, this and that, the third. Because I knew it was something about him that I just couldn't pick up and stomach. And all the remarks that he made towards his daughter being with a black man, having a black boyfriend, calling it the hard ER, this and that. And he basically said that he's basically a racist to a point. Well, I will say this. You admitting that you are a racist to a point basically details what type of person that you are. Again, there's Hulk Hogan and there was Terry. Back to the video. And on WWE Monday Night Raw on Netflix, it's because she said on social media, she said that WWE did not invite her, didn't even give her an invite. I'm going to talk about the 10-bell salute for Hulk Hogan on SmackDown and Raw, because that is something that I want to elaborate to and about as well. So let's go ahead and get into this topic. Now let's go ahead and get into it. The first thing that I would like to talk about and the first thing that I would like to discuss is this. So, Brooke Hogan on why Brooke Hogan asked to be removed from her dad Hulk Hogan's will and won't see $25 million fortune. Now this was Wednesday, July the 30th. Now let's get into it. Hulk Hogan Hulk Hogan's daughter, Brooke Hogan, that she reportedly won't see any of her late father's $25 million fortune after requesting to be removed from his will. On July the 29th, TMZ broke the news that Brooke Hogan requested to be taken out of her father's will back in 2023. Now, a source and Brooke's husband, Stephen Oakley, are confirming the report and told Entertainment Tonight all about what pushed Brooke to make this decision. Per the source, Brooke didn't trust people around him and didn't want to be involved in the financial battle when he passed. She wanted to protect her dad from the people she felt was taking advantage of him. But after years of arguing with him about it, she asked his financial manager to be removed from his will, said the source. Oakley, who Brooke married back in 2022, reflected on the day his wife came to the decision, saying she was sobbing and texting his financial manager because of the hurt that remained constantly in their relationship. Though they consoled before his death, Brooke and her father's relationship was fraught. For several years, in March of this year, she opened up about being estranged from her parents, Hulk and his ex-wife Linda, writing in an Instagram post that she had been verbally and mentally abused since childhood. All Brooke ever wanted and needed from Hulk was time and honestly and fortune from my wife. That was never in the cards. Oakley continued to Entertainment Tonight. Now, that's what I have so far, and that's what I just read. Now, let's go ahead and elaborate on this. Now, from what I've just read, it basically tells you that this has been going on for quite some time. This started back in 2023, where basically Brooke Hogan wanted to be removed after arguing back and forth with her daddy, Hulk Hogan. Because basically she did not want to be entangled in any type of mess. And like what she said she didn't trust too many people around him, which is understandable. Now, as a person, me, DeAndre Dobbs, now as a person that's not a fan of Hulk Hogan, that's never been a fan of Hulk Hogan, I'm not going to sit here and say that I was a fan. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I cared about him, because I didn't. I didn't even know him personally. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh my goodness, it's so sad that he is gone, that he has passed away. I will say it's heartbreaking to a bunch of peoples, but to me, I don't feel anything. And I'm not trying to be I'm not trying to be an evil bitch. I ain't trying to be an evil bitch. I'm not trying to be so this and then the third. I'm not being like that. I'm being real. I'd rather tell y'all the truth than lie. I think Brooke Hogan did this for her best interest, which is good. She did not want to be tangled up in all that stuff. Plus, her and her daddy, Hulk Hogan, they didn't have the best father and daughter relationship. Like what was said in what I just read. You know, she had an estranged relationship with both of her parents. But when it comes to her daddy, Hulk Hogan, something deeper and something more is in that situation. Why she did not want to be involved with her daddy in that type of situation. Like, basically, this young woman, she was going back and forth with the financial manager who was over her daddy's estate. and money and this and then the third to be removed. All this that has been going on since 2023. Now, even though back in March, this and then the third, sometime this year, Brooke and her daddy, they reconciled. They talked a little bit, but something still was not there. Something still was missing. Like, still ain't right, still was not there. So basically, she will not see any money from her daddy's estate because she chose to remove herself. But I will say this, I applaud her 100%. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and be honest and tell y'all the honest truth. It's probably plenty of reason why Brooke removed herself from the estate and the will and access this and that and the third. Maybe it is because of her daddy's action, of what he's been saying about peoples of color, black peoples, him being racist. Now, let's just be honest. We all know this. Now, a lot of you may say, why would you bring this up? Why would you bring this up? He was a childhood wrestler that people loved and enjoyed. Listen, a lot of you have to understand. A lot of you have to understand. There's the wrestler, Hulk Hogan, and that's the man that is behind Hulk Hogan, the real person. The real person. And I'm not talking about hold on, y'all. One second. This the thing. A lot of people need to understand. There's Hulk Hogan and there is Terry Gene Bowler, which is his real name. Hulk Hogan was a lot of people's childhood heroes in the WWE or Real Wrestling Federation, WWF, or whatever you want to call it, what it was back then, because I'm a wrestling fan. You got Hulk Hogan and you got Terry Gene Bowler, which is his name. A lot of people liked it, Hulk Hogan. Yes, he was a champion in the WWE. He was a well-known person, very popular in and outside of wrestling. But me, honestly, not my cup of tea, not my cup of coffee, none of that. It was something about him that I truly did not get, that I didn't like, that I still don't like. And I'm not going to pretend and say that I do, because I don't. Was I heartbroken when he passed away? No, I was not. The main reason I feel that Brooke Hogan removed herself from all of that, from her parents, from her daddy especially, is because of the racist remarks that he made in his actions. And with that being said, I'm going to see If I can find it, I'm gonna see if I can find it once again. One second, y'all. I'm still here, y'all. Okay. I'm trying to find it, y'all. Just one second. One second, y'all. I'm still here, y'all. I'm just trying to see why they must have removed it, because I even done content on some of this stuff. Okay, so here we go. I found it, y'all. So you have to skip to 22:59. I'm finna start on it. It is said in 2015, Terry Butler, known as Hulk Hogan, faced controversy after a recording surfaced from a 2007 sex tape. The audio included racist remarks. Hogan expressed disgust of the idea of his daughter, Brooke Hogan, dating a black man, and used the N-word multiple times. He also reportedly said, "I am a racist to a point," effing the N-word with the hard ERs at the end. These recordings were leaked as a part of the lawsuit Hogan filed against Gawker Media. The revolution led to swift backlash. WWE ended Hogan's contract and removed him from the WWE Hall of Fame. Hogan apologized, stating that the language was unacceptable and inconsistent with his beliefs, and he was at a low point and his environment influenced his use of racial slur. Brooke Hogan defended her father, acknowledging the offensive language, but arguing he was not racist. She cited his friendships with black individuals as evidence. Despite apologies, the controversial impacted his public image and career while reinstating into the WWE Hall of Fame. In 2018, his return received mixed reactions. Incidents sparked controversies about racism and accountability in the entertainment industry. Now, let's go ahead and elaborate on that. Now, all this happened in 2015 when he first said these racist remarks. And if I remember correctly, because I've read these remarks time and time again, and it basically pissed me off and made me upset. I remember reading it, and it said that, he don't want his daughter being with the N-word with the ER on it, and that he'd rather for his daughter to be with a hard N with the ER on it if he has money or something like that. If I can find it, I will put it up. But it is true. And this basically is the statement right here that I just read. So, his daughter, Brooke Hogan, defended him, correct? She defended him. Of course, she's going to stand firm with her daddy. She's going to defend him, this and that and the third. Understandable. For a fact. But let's be honest and let's be real. I don't care how much you apologize. I don't care how much you apologize. I don't care how much you apologize. I don't care how much you try to write a long apology and say it was unacceptable. Now, honestly, you're not sorry, and he was not sorry that he said these things. He was not sorry because he said these racist remarks about Brooke Hogan being with a black man. He's not sorry because he said that. He's sorry because he got caught. He's sorry because he got caught red-handed, basically telling his true feelings, showing his true feelings, how he really feels about black peoples in general. And just because you are a racist and you make racist remarks and then you say I have black friends, that still does not change the fact that you made those remarks, and that does not change the fact that you have racism in you, that you have prejudice in your heart. If you are a person and you make racist remarks toward black peoples, and you say, but I have black friends, but still, that does not change anything. That's not going to make people forget what you said and what you did, your actions. And that's the honest truth. But let's be honest. Everybody, every community has a little bit of racism in them. Let's just be honest. Everybody can be racist to a point, but you will never know and you will never see it because, hey, you're not with these peoples 24/7. But I'm not excusing none of that. I'm basically just saying the truth. He's not sorry because of the remarks that he said. He's sorry because he got caught. See, he was not thinking that he didn't know that he was on camera. He didn't know he was on camera being recorded saying this stuff. And that's what basically it tells you. You should be very careful. So, like I said, it could have been something more truly deeper than it was for why Brooke Hogan wanted to remove herself. And Brooke Hogan, she also has some albums out too. But this the thing though, this the thing. Brooke Hogan is a grown woman. If she wants to date a black man, if she wants to have a baby by a black man, if she wanted to marry a black man, then let her do that. Because this is a free country. A lot of things have changed, a lot of things have not. It's racism wherever you go. Anybody can have a little racism in them, but they ain't gonna let you know. They can be cool with you for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 years. You will never know if they have it in them or not because you're not around them. But when you're not around them, you will never know. Peoples can have you fooled and bamboozled. But this the thing. You can tell when someone has a lot of heat on them. You can tell when a person has messed up. You can tell when a person is trying to get the heat off them. You can tell they don't want to take accountability. Because I know when you know a person has messed up, especially in the celebrity world and industry, who has lots of money, this is what they'll do. They will either make a video apologizing, explaining what they went through in their childhood, why they said it, the reason they said it out of anger, and everything that they experienced, what they've been through, their trauma, this and that and the third, and they sincerely apologize, this and that and the third, and they repeat themselves, say, I'm so sorry, I never meant for this, this to happen, and that I love everybody, I love this and that and the third. No. That's when you know they messed up. And that's when you learn. They not sorry because they said it. They sorry because they got caught. They sorry because somebody caught them out on their mess. And that's the honest truth. That's the celebrity world. But let's get into this real world, the world that we in, the not so famous world, the not Hollywood world, the not famous industry. When people's like us that is not famous, say for instance, when a person writes something on social media, like on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, this and that and the third, you know what they do? They write something about a person, or they make a video, something like that, and then when they get called out on it, when somebody catch them doing it, when they get called out on them, and the person that they claim that they were cool with finds out that they have made a video, said all these interrogatory racist remarks or whatever type of remarks you want to say towards that person, when that person that they made these remarks about calls them out on it, or somebody that is an ally of that person, friend of that person, the person that done all this destruction, that started all this destruction, wants to delete that post, they're going to delete it. They're going to try to do everything they can to get the heat off them. That's when you know a person is guilty. They're going to try to delete it. They're going to try to fix everything. They're going to try to write a long post expressing their actions, so they apologize for their actions, and then they try to make a long video detailing what they've been through. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm going to be honest with you. I know I might lose a lot of y'all here, but everyone, every community, every race, every gender, every ethnicity can have a little racism in them. Not just one community. All communities can have a little racism in it. I know this for a fact. And don't forget colorism. Let's not forget um um sexist as well, because we all have that around. But I will say this: Hulk Hogan, or whatever his name, Terry Bula, whatever his name, he was a different breed. He basically tells you that he was a racist individual. The thing is this: I knew it was something about him that I didn't like. I don't hate him. I just don't like him. His theme song, trash, didn't like him. His wrestling, authentic, didn't like it. I'm not taking away from everybody, because everybody grew up on Hulk Hogan, who was born in the 70s and 80s. A lot of people grew up on him. But for me, I didn't. I didn't grow up on him. So it's kind of hard for me, Even if I was born in that time, I still wouldn't be fond of him because of the actions that he has done. And I'm not talking about politics. Yes, he's made some very crazy things in the politics world too. He was Team MAGA. He says he wanted to buy the slam car Mara. And now, back in that time on that sex tape, what I was just telling you about, what he thinks about black people's calling them the hard ER and stuff. So no. That's probably the main reason why Brooke wanted to remove herself, because hey, she don't want to be entitled into that. She don't want to be tangled into that. If I wasn't close, to my parents, and my parents were causing me trouble and basically not having a childhood with love, basically her childhood wasn't good either, and if I'm correct, I'm just basically putting it there. So that's how I feel about the whole situation, I know I talked a lot about this, but I'm still going to talk about my next topic. And that's what I want to say on this topic about Brooke Hogan removing herself from her father Hulk Hogan Will and assets, or whatever you want to call it. So what do you guys think on that? Put it in the comments, and if I missed something, please let me know in the comments. Hulk Hogan passed away at the age of 71 on July the 24th, 2025. Just 2 days from the passing of Malcolm Jamal Warner, Theo Huxtable, and Ozzy Osbourne. So what do you guys think? Put it in the comments. Yes. So now we're about to get into another topic, and it's going to be about Shannon Sharpe. Just give me 1 second, y'all. Hey y'all, I am back. Let's go ahead and get into this last topic for this evening. First and foremost, I like to apologize if I spent so much time talking about one topic. I just like to elaborate. And I know a lot of you already know what you know about the last topic, but I just wanted to elaborate on it. I just want to put some content out, basically elaborate. So now let's go ahead and get into this last topic. And this topic is basically something that I've done a video on multiple times. And I'm basically going to elaborate on it, and I'm going to tell you how I really feel about this situation. I apologize, y'all, if this video is long. I don't doubt nobody going to tune into this video, but it's okay. But let's go ahead and tune into this video. ESPN parts ways with Shannon Sharpe follows settlement of rape lawsuit, sources says. ESPN has cut ties with the NFL Hall of Famer and media analyst Shannon Sharpe less than 2 weeks after he settled a lawsuit in which his ex-girlfriend accused him of rape. Sources briefed on the decision told The Authentic on Wednesday. Shannon has not been on ESPN since the late April when the suit was first filed. He said at the time that he would return to ESPN at the beginning of the NFL training camp. ESPN declined to comment. The woman known as Jane Doe in the suit was seeking $50 million for pain and suffering, psychological and emotional distress, mental anguish, embarrassment, and humiliation. Sharpe publicly denied the allegations immediately after his accuser filed the suit in April, calling the case a shakedown attempt. His maintained that he and the nonviolent woman were in a consensual sexual relationship. Since retiring from the NFL, Sharpe, 57 years old, has a long media career, first as the NFL studio analyst and then as a sports talk show host at the FSL, where he rose to greater performances, debating Skip Bayless of Undisputed after the run ended in 2023. Shannon joined The First Take as a twice-weekly forward for Stephen A. Smith. Sharpe continues to have his podcast club, Shay Shay in the Nightcap, where he teams up with former wide receiver Chad Okonecho, both of which they are currently distributed by the Volume in an agreement that concludes at the end of August, according to the source briefly on the deal before the suit became public in April. Sharpe was closing in on a major podcast deal that may have been worth as much as $100 million, as front office sports reported at the time, and sources briefly on the situation confirmed The Authentic. The woman's attorney, Tony Busby, announced the lawsuit dismissal in a post on X on July the 18th, but did not specify the details of the settlement. After protracted and respectful negotiations, I'm pleased to announce that we have reached a mutually agreed upon resolution, Busby wrote. All that matters is have now been addressed satisfactorily, and the matter is closed. The lawsuit will be dismissed with prejudice. A dismissal with prejudice means Sharpe's accuser cannot refile the same claim against him in the same Los Angeles court. No criminal charges were filed against Sharpe. So, I basically read, the paragraph or whatever you want to say. I read the paragraph. I read the article, and this is The Authentic, pretty much. Let me go on and get that right there. So, ESPN has parted ways with Shannon Sharpe. I done videos on this multiple times. If you have been rocking with me for a great amount of time, you possibly know what I'm talking about. But now let's get into it. Okay, let's get into it. It's a sad situation. Yes, it is. The woman, Jane Doe, who Shannon Sharpe was having relations with. Basically got the best of me. And I will say this. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not gonna be cold. I'm not gonna be none of that. I'm going to be real. Even on his podcast and even on his interview shows, Club Shay Shay, Monique told him that he needs to stop messing with these young, you know what. Need to stop messing with these young, you know what, and give him somebody that's up to his speed. Because they were going to end up getting him in trouble. Cat Williams as well told him the same thing, allegedly. Now look where it has gotten him. Look where it has gotten him. He was facing so much stuff when all of this first came out. And if you don't know exactly what I'm talking about, feel free to go back and watch my videos or watch anybody's content that has talked about this. You can watch mine or anybody's. But I'm telling you right now, him messing with Jane Doe, even though he was dating her, and I think allegedly she was like 18 years old, allegedly. 50 million is what Shannon Sharpe was being sued for in this lawsuit. Him messing with Jane Doe basically got him basically in a lot of trouble. And basically, Jane Doe basically was seeking $50 million for pain, suffering, physiological and emotional distress, mental anguish, embarrassment, and humiliation. And basically, Shannon Sharpe allegedly denied the allegations. But if y'all don't know, them recordings on that phone that he had with Jane Doe says otherwise. Says that he wanted to put a black baby in her. This and that and the third and all this other type of stuff. If you know, you know. If you remember, you remember. But I'm telling you, it is so much. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say this and I'm going to elaborate on this. And I'm not trying to make this a racial thing. But I'm going to be real with you and honest. I feel like these big stars and these big sport entertainers that's in the sport world, not all, but some, but biggest of them, when they get big and when they get rich and when they get well known, these black men, they don't want to mess with no black queen. They intend to go to the Beckys with the good hair. And I think the main reason, I think I said this in my last video, and I think the main reason why a lot of these black men that become very famous and popular in the sports entertainment world and in the acting world see to go to the other side of the community is because they probably think that if they get with a queen, if they get with a black queen, they feel like their black queen is going to take them for everything that they have. They too much for them. The thing is, a lot of these men, these black men, they rather be and rather try with the other community than their own with a black queen is because, hey, these black queens, these black beautiful women in our community is not going to put up with what they putting down, the disrespect and everything. Not all, but some. They feel in their mind that some black women are too masculine for them, too tough for them, like they can't handle what they put down. Well, in this day and age and in this time of need, that's what is needed. It takes a village and it takes a strong black woman to put a black man in his place, to let him know that, hey, we can have the same thing. We can be equal. Just give me the opportunity. Just give me the opportunity to prove, and you prove it to me. But basically, a lot of these men and some of these women, they don't want to face touch with reality, basically. And I'm not trying to make this a racial thing, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm just trying to basically tell it like I see it. You know, I could be wrong, but if I got it in the wrong way, please tell me. I'm not saying what Shannon Sharpe did, was acceptable, allegedly. It's not. But at the end of the day, I really feel if he was with somebody that was more relatable to him, I really feel like if he was more with somebody that was more relatable to him, that was up to his speed, his knowledge and everything, they can keep up with him. And I really feel if he would have just listened to Monique, Cat Williams, or anybody else that told him this, Cheryl Underwood, or whoever he's done these with, I really feel if he would have listened to someone that was basically telling him the truth, I really feel he wouldn't have this to go through. Because basically, let's be honest, this Jane Doe girlfriend of his that was requesting $50 million had a lawyer, Tony Busby, basically trying to take everything from Shannon Sharpe, take him for everything that he had. But I will say this, because of these allegedly allegations, Shannon Sharpe has been fired from ESPN. And basically, he had a big deal with one of his podcasts that he was going to have $100 million deal that was going to possibly be coming through. But because of these allegations and because of the fact that he was messing with Jane Doe, all that is off the table now. He's lost his job with ESPN. They have let him go. So it's like, wow. All of that because he wanted to be Mr. Cat Daddy. But, I'm just basically saying, I'm like, all that could have been avoided. And I'm not putting it all on him either. I'm not putting it all on Shannon. I'm not putting it all on him. I'm not putting it all on him. But I really feel they will set him up as well. Not putting it all on Shannon, but I really feel like those two, Tony Busby and Jane Doe, his girlfriend, they were suing him, trying to seek $50 million. Trying to get and set him up. A money grab, a money work, this and that and the third. I'm sorry he had to go through that. Yes, I watch Club Shay Shay. That does not have anything to do with my topic. Him doing Club Shay Shay, that's a different thing. But I will say this. You're never too young and you never too old to get fired and let go from a job that you have had a great amount of time. You're never too young, you're never too old to get fired. So let's just say that and put it out there. You're never too young, you're never too old. But I really feel you should have I really feel like he should have just been with somebody. Like, I can't control who a person be with, but I really feel like if he wanted some fun, be with somebody that can relate to him. Be with somebody that was up to his speed. Be with somebody that can understand what he needs and what he wants. But a lot of these big sport entertainers, they want to parade themselves with these young individuals who does not want anything from them but their money. A good time, not what they really desiring for, But it works both ways. It could have happened to anybody. I'm just saying. But I will say this. Y'all might drag me for this. Y'all might unsubscribe from me, and I completely understand. But I'm just going to go ahead and be honest. Because this is the honest truth, in my opinion. Can't nobody understand a black man other than a black woman. A black woman is the only person that can understand a black man. as a black woman. Because in some situations, it could have been avoided. A lot of things could be avoided if we just stick to what we know and who we know that we known for a while. But it's true. He has been let go from ESPN, and as far as I know, the case has been dismissed so far. But if I have any updates, I will be sure to let you guys know. But that will be my video, y'all. There will be my video. And what do you think about this topic and this situation? Put it in the comments. So that will be my video for today, y'all. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll be back with another video as soon as possible. I hope y'all enjoy. Comment what y'all think about the Hulk Hogan and Brooke Hogan situation. And comment what you think about Shannon Sharpe's situation of him being let go by ESPN. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I will be back with another video as soon as possible. Thank y'all for watching. And I will see y'all next time. I love y'all. See you soon. Love y'all and thank you. Bye-bye.